All right, get ready for this deep dive. Today we are looking at some really cool creatures. We're talking squirrels and how they hide nuts. Plus, we'll take a quick look at some microscopic animals that can actually survive space.
Wow, that's quite a combo. Sounds exciting.
It is. We're using a YouTube video from Discovery UK for this one. It covers how squirrels find all those nuts they buried. And, well, you won't believe this, there's a part about tardigrades surviving in space. It's amazing to see the diversity of life on Earth, maybe even beyond.
Intriguing.
Yeah.
So let's start with squirrels and their nut stashing skills. Do they bury just any nut they find?
Actually, nope. Squirrels are super picky when it comes to the nuts they store. This video shows that whole quality control process. Really amazing.
So what does this squirrel nut inspection involve? I'm picturing tiny magnifying glasses.
Uh-huh. Well, not quite. They do sniff the nuts and check for any cracks. And, get this, they actually weigh them. They shake them in their paws like they're running a little nut factory with high standards.
Remarkable. That's a lot of attention to detail for a squirrel. What's the point of the shake test? Are they checking for ripeness?
According to the video, it's to listen for a rattle, make sure there's actually a seed inside. And they use the weight to figure out how much energy, calories the nut has. They only want to bury the best, most nutritious ones. It's all about efficiency. Makes you think about intelligence in the animal kingdom, doesn't it?
You're right. It's not all about brain size, clearly.
Mm-hmm.
But how do they find these nuts later? I always thought it was just smell, but it has to be more than that, right?
You're on the right track. It's a common misconception, that smell thing. They've got this incredible spatial memory, almost like a GPS system for their buried treasure.
Fascinating. Is there any research on this? It's hard to imagine squirrels having such sophisticated mental maps.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah,
Dr. Amanda Robin at UC Berkeley has been studying squirrel behavior. She's been using cameras to track them burying nuts. Her research has found that they actually use landmarks, trees, bushes, even park benches, believe it or not, to remember where they stash their snacks.
so just like us remembering, our favorite bookstore is next to that coffee shop we love, except they do it for thousands of nuts.
Exactly. And the video says they can bury thousands of nuts over an area bigger than 5 football fields. And get this, they're successful 90% of the time. They find 90% of those buried nuts. Puts my forgetfulness to shame.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
90%. But do they just bury them randomly all over the place?
Nope, surprisingly organized, these little guys. They have a system, hazelnuts in one spot, peanuts in another, and so on, like creating different neighborhoods for food types.
Isn't that Hill's Peanut Place? I love it.
Right.
That organization must be key to their impressive retrieval rate. Can you imagine trying to find anything if they were all mixed up? Complete chaos.
It's about chaos, like trying to find a file on your computer without any folders, right?
Exactly. So it turns out squirrels are more than just cute and fluffy. They're smart, organized, and efficient.
Absolutely. Makes you wonder what other seemingly simple creatures out there have these hidden depths and amazing abilities. Speaking of resilience, let's talk about a creature that makes squirrels look like amateurs when it comes to survival. We're talking about those microscopic marvels, tardigrades. You might know them as water bears.
That's right, water bears. So for anyone who's not familiar with these amazing creatures, what exactly is a tardigrade?
Yeah, paint us a picture.
Well, imagine a microscopic animal, kind of looked like a chubby little bear with 8 legs,
Mhm.
hence the nickname, right? You find them in damp places like moss or even just puddles. But what makes them so special is they can survive in conditions that would, well, kill pretty much anything else.
The video mentioned surviving in space. How is that even possible?
It sounds crazy like science fiction, but it's true. Back in 2007, the European Space Agency sent thousands of these little tardigrades into space, just launched them out there as part of this experiment.
They just sent them into space. Wow, what happened? What did they find out?
Hold on to your hats, because this is where it gets wild. A bunch of them, they survived. They came back to Earth alive after being in the vacuum of space. Freezing temperatures, radiation. It really changes how we think about life and what it can handle.
Wait, they were exposed to space with nothing to protect them and they lived. How? How is that even possible?
It's all thanks to this crazy ability they have called cryptobiosis. Basically, they hit the pause button on life. They shut down everything that's not essential. Their metabolism just stops. They become, well, almost indestructible.
So they just chill until things get better. What happens to their bodies during this, timeout?
Okay, this is the really cool part. When their environment dries out, like in space, they replace the water in their bodies with a special type of sugar called trehalose. This sugar forms a glassy structure, protecting all their cells and organs. It's like turning into biological glass.
No water, no oxygen, no problem. These guys are hardcore.
Hardcore is an understatement.
Yeah.
And it's not just space they can handle. Tardigrades are famous for surviving all kinds of extreme conditions right here on Earth, too.
Like what else can they take?
Okay, prepare to be amazed. They can survive being boiled in water.
Boiled, like 100 degrees Celsius.
Yeah. Boiling water. And get this, they can also survive being frozen, like way below zero. And even the intense pressure at the bottom of the ocean, it's mind-blowing.
With all that, it almost makes you wonder if they're even from this planet. Maybe they hitched a ride on a comet, you know? Could that explain why they're so tough?
It's a thought, for sure. I mean, some scientists do think about that possibility. They see how incredibly tough tardigrades are, and, well, it does make you wonder if they might have come from somewhere else.
If anything could survive a trip through space, it'd be these guys. You know, it makes you think, what else is out there? What other crazy life forms are we going to find in the universe?
Exactly. It's pretty mind-boggling when you really think about it. Even if they didn't come from space, though, just the fact that they're here on Earth, it shows how adaptable life is. I mean, we've only just scratched the surface of what's out there.
Totally. Okay, let's bring it back down to Earth for a minute. What did we learn today? We started with squirrels, those memory and organization champs. They've got their whole nut inspection routine, their little mental GPS to find thousands of buried nuts, and their organizational skills are better than mine. Pretty impressive creatures.
Totally agree. They really show us that intelligence comes in all shapes and sizes. Don't underestimate those squirrels.
Right. Then we jump from the forest to space with tardigrades, the ultimate survivors. They can handle space, crazy temperatures, radiation. It's like they have a superpower.
It really shows how resilient life is, how it finds a way to thrive in the craziest places.
And maybe they're aliens. That's a
Now,
cool bonus, right?
definitely adds to the mystery. So as we finish up this deep dive, what's the main thing we should remember? What can we learn from these awesome creatures?
Yeah, what's the takeaway for us humans?
Well, for me, it's don't underestimate nature. You never know what's out there waiting to be discovered. I mean, we learned so much about squirrels and tardigrades, and they're just two examples.
It makes you wonder what other amazing things are hidden in plain sight. What other creatures are out there doing things we'd never expect.
Exactly. That's what makes exploring and learning so much fun. There's always something new, always something to blow your mind.
Totally. If anyone wants to learn more about squirrels, I recommend checking out Dr. Amanda Robbins' research. And for those tardigrade fans, there are some incredible videos online that show them in action.
They're really cool to watch, I have to agree.
Well, that's all for our deep dive on squirrel superpowers and those incredible tardigrades.
Keep exploring, everyone, and stay curious.